Houston is a multicultural city with a thriving international community. Known as the Space City, home to NASA's Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center. With 90 languages regularly spoken in the Houston area, some neighborhoods have Chinese and Vietnamese street signs in addition to those in English.
Here in the province, the western province that was in Houston, there was the beginnings of the outreach to the Vietnamese community. And so we got an even, so the congregation started getting more international right under our feet, right here at Houston. So right now, we live in just an incredibly diverse city, and it is number one, a fascinating reality when I help at a local parish, St. Michael's, and as many people know, Houston's a big medical and engineering, oil and petrochemical area. So there are people from all over the world.
We have a vastly changing world. Culture is moving rapidly too. And one of the things that is also challenging here is the growth. We have people continuing to move into this area, not only from all over the United States, because jobs here are plentiful, but also the constant flow of people up from Mexico, and particularly Mexico and Central America, keeps growing. So that is a big challenge, because we need more parishes. Many of our parishes here are huge. 6,000-7,000 families, maybe 1 or 2 priests. So it's very difficult. But at the same time, we have that type of growth in the suburbs.
The St. Benedict the Abbot Catholic Church, located in southwest Houston, is a Catholic community of almost 2,000 households. Father Wee Din is the pastor.
At first, that it's a difficult job for me to accepting as a pastor. I used to be with the students, and it's a challenge for me to adapt to a new job with new people, especially that this parish comprised of 25% of African American and almost 76% of Hispanics. So I have to learn a new language. It's not only Vietnamese, my mother tongue, English, and Spanish as well. So when I came over here, that serving the people of God, I have to learn a new language, learn a new culture, both African Americans and Spanish.
I came up with the folk mass. So when I transitioned to directing the Spanish choir, I kept the guitar, of course. So we're using that and also the traditions of the Hispanic music. So we try not to do too much, we try to stick with the traditional of the church as well.
I love this parish because everybody knows each other, and it's so welcoming. I'm not sure if it's a Catholic thing or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. But we're all welcoming. I mean, the doors are always open to come in and talk to them, which is the coolest part. You can set up an appointment and talk to them. I mean, they're approachable. This parish is very approachable, which is, we come from not a big fund, or a big budget, but we're so humble, and that's what keeps me going every Sunday.
The Spiritans are involved in many diverse ministries, including education, parish work, and refugee ministry.
The ministry of the poor and marginalized is the ministry of the whole church, and we welcome the presence of the Spiritans to help us with that. I think the fact that you have a parish which is changing and ministering to people which are minorities is wonderful. You also, in the past, you've had some of your seminarians studying here, the Vietnamese, and that's, I think, been a great enrichment for the Spiritan community. Houston is where sort of the South ends and the West begins, you know. And so we had to face the problems of segregation and how to deal with that in a Christian way. But, you know, I would say in the last 25 years, though, it's become much more international.
The thing that attracted me to the Spiritans was the mission focus that was not only overseas, but also they saw the importance of mission in this country. And so as time has moved on, the astounding thing is that more and more when it comes to encountering cultures, you know, we're doing that in this country, particularly in a city like Houston, which in, what was it, the Smithsonian magazine last summer had an article dealing with the facts that Houston had become the most diverse city, large city in the country. So anyway, the world is here. So it's sort of an interesting kind of a turnaround.
The Spiritans are a welcoming group. They come from many diverse backgrounds. However, all are called by God and committed to serving those most in need, in whatever context or culture they find themselves. There is one unifying theme that defines the Spiritans' purpose: presence. The Spiritans are a family of priests, brothers, and lay people, and seek to be present to all people.
I first became involved and interested in what the Spiritans are doing through Father Nesty. He runs the Center for Faith and Culture at University of St. Thomas, and I first took one of his classes at St. Mary's Seminary. It was called Faith in the Dominant American Culture. I was interested in that because at my job here at NASA, we're very much involved in all of the American culture and everything that led up to everything that we're doing today. And I wanted to learn more about that. And Father Nesty's classes are very good about teaching us where we came from and where we're going and how we reach out to one another. And one of his major themes is how to respect the dignity of the human person. And I think that's a lot what the Spiritans are all about. And really, it's what we're about here at NASA too. We really want to reach out to others.
My sister gave me a novena prayer book to the Holy Spirit, not knowing where that came from, so I looked them back. It was the Spiritan Foundation. So I pray that prayer every day, and in '98, and it seemed like the Holy Spirit just moved me and guided me, and then so I took care of my dad until he eventually passed away in '99, and then I contacted some Spiritan locally here in Houston. I didn't know there was some houses here, so I was introduced that, and that's how I get to know some of the Spiritan in Houston, and that began kind of my interest in the spiritual life and the vocation.
I've known several priests throughout my whole life, and Father Joseph is a priest I never, the kind of priest I never really met. He, you know, part of being a Spiritan, you know, it's a really great experience. He actually is more open and more charismatic with a college kid, with the kids in general, really. You know, getting all jumping and excited to actually be here in church and be able to celebrate with Christ, and that's actually something I really like. It's something I never really experienced completely back with my parish.
The Spiritan congregation has adopted life in community as its founding principle. Community life is then an essential element in the Spiritan way of life.
Our Spiritan community provides us with a very important support in our community life, in our prayer life, and even Pope Francis has given emphasis, you know, to the power of listening and the importance of prayer in people's daily life. And we can experience this in community, but not just by interacting with our confreres, but also by our outreach and extension with others. This is equally important to ground ourselves in the lived experience of people's lives and to be encouraged by these interactions. In Houston, we actually have a fairly small group of priests here in comparison to some of our other locations in the United States. And I suppose you could categorize us into two basic groups. One are those who are working in pastoral work directly, which most commonly typifies our involvements internationally. That Spiritans work in either inner city parishes typically or remote parishes.
In line with the Spiritan charism across the world and here in the United States, in parishes including here in Texas, Arkansas, California, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Virginia. Spiritans are found working with the people on the margins of society and in places where the church finds it hard to recruit workers. Spiritans are found working with the community to make change in the community.